My boyfriend triggered me in the worst possible way. I'm crying uncontrollably even reading edit. I meant typing this so I might be incoherent. I'm 27. My boyfriend is 30. I moved to the country I live in now when I was 20. I was sex trafficked for 5 years by that point, and moving to this country was my escape. I met him about a year after moving here and we became friends. It was strictly platonic at first, and I told him about my past. He was there for me, listened to me and held me while I cried. He was an amazing friend. A year ago, he confessed that he had feelings for me. I said I did too and we started dating. I told him I didn't feel comfortable having sex soon into our relationship because of all I've been through, and asked him if he was willing to be patient with me because I didn't know how long it would take for me to feel comfortable being intimate with him. He said it was completely fine and he didn't make any move before I was ready. Yesterday, I told him I wanted to try going further. I was into it and actually enjoying myself. When he was getting close to finishing, he said, I get why men were willing to pay to have you. I'd pay for this too. I froze. My heart felt like it stopped beating for a second and my stomach dropped. I lay completely still and he finished. I looked at him in shock and asked, why the hell would you say that? He looked shocked as well and said he wasn't thinking logically and thought it might turn me on. I asked why the hell memories of my worst nightmares would turn me on. I broke up with him and told him to get out. He's been spamming me with apologies and asking what he can do to make it right. Just the thought of him makes me so sick. I should have known I wouldn't be anything more than a slave to anyone. I feel cheated. That might be one of the most repulsive things I've ever heard. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry this happened to you, but I am so proud of you for immediately standing up for yourself. You're amazing that after everything you've been through you still have the strength and self-worth to kick his ass to the curb. Sending you all the support and good vibes and hugs if you want them. The fact that he kept going and didn't notice you were in distress. So wrong. That is what is wrong with him. That isn't about you. You are a whole person who deserves love and kindness. So proud of you that you broke up immediately and got away from him. Keep going on your own journey. That is literally the worst fucking thing to say. And he obviously has been fetishizing your abuse. Taking someone's worst trauma and bringing it up when they are most vulnerable isn't a mistake. It's a choice. It's throwing it back at them in the cruelest way. I'm sorry. Sending you love and healing. Credit to you for not tolerating it and taking decisive action to put your well-being first. He was telling you in no uncertain terms who he was. And the fact he was saying it during sex only lends more weight to that. Not to mention that it sounds like you froze up and he just continued as normal. Block his number if you haven't already. I am so sorry. That was an incredibly cruel thing for him to have done. What a stupid, awful thing to say. What a cruel thing to say when he knew full well that was a big traumatic time in your life. That he could even think about those disgusting men during what should have been such an intimate moment for you. I don't know what it is with dudes that take sexual trauma from their partners and integrate it into their sexual activity. Somebody opened up to you, was extremely vulnerable in sharing private information, and you use that against them to get off. It's unforgivable. IMO. He knew what he was doing and it's sick. I keep seeing this come up and I don't know what it is. How can you do this to someone? It doesn't make sense. I don't know if it's a power trip or what. The entire time you were telling him about your past. He wasn't really listening. Good on you for ditching him immediately. Holy shit, what is wrong with him? What the fuck? I'm sorry he ended up being dim and unempathetic. Good lord. My head spun a little when I read that. I'm sorry. That is horrendous. All of it. You can do better. Good men don't say that. I think that you were right to kick him out. What he said was horrible. I'm so sorry for all the terrible things you have suffered. And that the person you trusted turned out to be like that. You trusted him because he was pretending to be a good person. And I bet he put on a good show right up until he thought he had you hooked. What a terrible person he is to mislead you so cruelly. And then to say what he did. WTF. Coming from a guy the first have no idea how this was even a thought in his head. Complete psycho. I'm sorry you went through that, and I'm sorry on behalf of men everywhere crying. What can he do to make it right? Learn from this and don't be so insensitive with your next girlfriend. Holy shit dude, you're completely in the right. Oh my god, why would he say that? Keep your head up, hun, you will definitely find someone who shows you the respect you deserve. This is awful and you never deserved this. Any of it. I don't know him personally, but I can tell you when people feel comfortable saying those types of things to you, it's because they are enjoying it. It's very likely he would have kept saying things like this, and over time you would have built a trauma bond with him. He doesn't have a reason to be dating you if he doesn't understand how to protect you and be a safe space for you. I've learned to never tell men about my trauma. They will either be turned on by it or use it against you. I keep that for me and my therapist. I will never trust men. What the fuck? I flinched when I read that. I very narrowly escaped trafficking. I cannot believe the absolute audacity of that man to take your biggest trauma that he heard so much about and supported in quotes BC. I wonder if he was getting off on it the whole time you threw. How dare he? You are strong. You are a warrior. And you deserve the space to be soft, vulnerable, safe, and cherished. You are more than a slave. OMG, I'm so sorry. That's so horrible. I wish there were a way to fix it. I actually said fart when I read what he said. That is such an insane thing to bring up, especially at that moment. I'm glad you got rid of him. Anyone that thinks that sort of comment would turn you on after everything you've been through doesn't even remotely understand or respect you. No amount of apologies from him will fix his subconscious line of thought, because what he said to you was exactly what he was thinking. I'm proud of you for standing up for yourself. I gasped when I read what he said to you. What happened to you was just a sexy story in his mind. Unfucking believable. The fact that he kept going after you froze means he knew what he was doing. What a human trash bag. Brew, what is wrong with dudes? Disgusting. He trivialized your trauma and basically said he'd rape you too. What the fuck? Holy shit. My heart dropped and I felt a massive pit in my stomach as soon as I read his disgusting words. I am so sorry. Op. Holding space for you. Blue heart. I started to cry just reading this. I can't even imagine how you are feeling. Good for you for not questioning your feelings and doing the absolute right thing in the moment it needed to be done. I hope that you heal quickly from this encounter. My jaw is on the floor.